3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Real pineapple, real pineapple, real pineapple. Da 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 da. Real pineapple. Good evening, everybody. This is Hunter here. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. I have been. By the time you guys hear this, it'll be Sunday. Sunday. By the time you hear this, and I spent most of my day drinking water and watching DC Fandome today, and I'm gonna have a full collective review of all my thoughts. That'll be a long podcast, but I wanted to share my thoughts on my favorite thing from DC Fandome, which God Almighty we've got to talk about. So I got a lot of shit from people on my Facebook, on Twitter, in person, because I said, and I stand by what I'm about to say, that by the time it's all said and done, Robert Pattison, sparkling vampire himself, may go down as the best live action, that is the key, live action Batman that we've seen on film so far. And I got roasted by some people going, oh my god, you can't believe that, there's no way, you just want this to blah blah blah. And so we got our first look at the Batman, a full 2-minute 23-second trailer, which hell yeah. I thought we would get a couple pictures, maybe a sizzle reel, but I did not. Actually, that's not that's a lie. I actually said, I think on our on one of my reviews recently, that I thought we would get a full trailer. And yeah, considering that the film is only 25% done and we got this, hell yeah. And I just gotta say, from just what I saw, yeah, I am amped for this. So just to go through a couple things, because it's funny, this film, and this is the best comparison I can make, it feels like Matt Reeves, who, as you guys know, if you've listened to the podcast for a decent amount of time, you know my true reverence and my true the true awe that I feel for Matt Reeves. I think the latest Planet of the Apes trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies that's been made in the last 30 years. I just have genuine respect for Matt Reeves and everything that he's done. I would have loved to have seen what him and Ben Affleck could have done together for their Batman film, especially after seeing this. But I gotta be honest, guys, seeing this made me go, you know what? Hell yeah, I am happy what we're getting. So it's interesting that this feels like, it feels like Matt Reeves drew a lot of inspiration, not just from Batman Year One, but maybe from Gotham, the TV show. Because the thing about this movie and just what we've seen, just in this trailer, it feels very much like an origin movie in the sense of the characters aren't fully fleshed out yet, which is not a bad thing. If you've read Batman Year One, you know some of the things that it goes ahead and borrows from. But I love that this is basically Batman Year Two, as Matt Reeves, even admitted. I'm gonna just read the quote here that he said. The whole idea. This is all an experiment in the movie. The idea that we're in Year Two, it's the Gotham experiment. It's a criminological experiment, trying to figure out what he can do to finally change this place. And in our story, as he's in that mode, that's where you meet him, and that's where he's charting what he's doing, and it doesn't seem to have any effect. And that's when the murders start to happen. And then the murders begin to describe sort of the history of Gotham in a way that only reinforces what he knows about Gotham, but it opens up a whole new world of corruption that goes much further. I love that. It feels very similar to, without spoiling anything in case you haven't played it, it feels very like a very nice complementary piece to the Batman Telltale games, especially season 1. Hopefully we get a season 3 at some point. But Robert Pattinson, as I said, I stand by this dude. I've been a fan, even even with the Twilight movies, which I fully acknowledge are not great films. I think the first one, that would be just Twilight and then Eclipse, I think are actually fun, I'll say. But I haven't reviewed it yet, but I'm going to have to review The Lighthouse because I enjoyed the heck out of that. Spoiler. But I've Robert Pattinson has done more than enough to shed that Twilight persona for me. He's more than clearly just, Edward Cullen. And this movie has admittedly a very tall hill to climb, I believe, because we are getting Ben Affleck back as Batman. Apparently. It was weird they didn't really confirm that today. That's starting to make the rounds, but it sounds like he's coming back for Flashpoint. But it was kind of weird for them to not announce that in the Flash movie panel that they had earlier. So that was nor Michael Keaton. So I'm kind of like, I know it's getting reported, but I'm kind of in a wait and see on that. But so just rewatching the trailer right now, the person that you see first, I believe that's Riddler. I mean, clearly not, Riddler in his, in his proper attire, but it looks like, it sounds like that's Paul Dano, and I'm assuming it's not, but the fact that the man that he has taped up and it says "No More Lies," I don't think that's Alfred. But if you notice when he's laying face down, he's got a vest on and everything. So I'm wondering if this is someone that Bruce holds dear, and that's why the Batman is there. I mean, obviously the Batman would probably be there anyway because murder, but maybe it's someone close to him. Maybe that's why it's happening. I'm just very curious. That there's clearly a reason they're opening up with this scene in particular. I just find that I was like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't think I would like Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, but just seeing him step onto the scene, he does immediately have that authoritative vibe about him. Jeffrey Wright is one of the best. If you haven't seen any of Westworld, I saw the first season. He's just one of the best actors we have, period. Even independent of Westworld. I just love that he's in this, and the mustache looks good on him. So I was very happy to see that. But I love the shot of, you see, like the boots don't look anything crazy or anything like that, but they show Batman first, just his boots, and I kind of appreciate that. Going through the trailer here, and I can't read the full card because it's kind of blocked, but there's a note on the crime scene. It says, "To the Batman," and part of the card says, "Haven't a clue. Let's play a game. Just me and you." It's very Ice Truck Killer from Dexter season 1. It's very much like, do you want to play? I almost said, do you want to play a game? But you know what I mean. But the left side of the card says, "What does liar?" I'm assuming it says "mean when dead." It doesn't show you all of it, which I also think might be intentional. If you notice on the wall right after that, it shows Maroni drug bust, and looks like that's been smeared. I mean, there's blood on it. So that was something else that that they did not actually say, is if this is a rated R film or not. I hope it's rated R because, as I mentioned, it's giving me Seven vibes. If this feels like a movie that stars Batman, that's very much in the vibe, in the in the spirit of something like Seven, even down to how the trailer ends with showing the 2021, but with the question marks to represent the Riddler. So I'm happy that it sounds like the Riddler is the main protagonist in this. Everyone, I think, is young enough that they could play these characters for another 5-10 years. Paul Dano especially is just Paul Dano always looks wet. He always just looks like a salamander, and I mean that affectionately. Paul Dano's 36, so he's got plenty left in the tank. But if you haven't seen Prisoners, by the way, with Paul Dano, you need to. He's great in that. But I love seeing the blood spattered across multiple things here. It's hard to tell what everything is, but it feels like that was done very deliberately. But I love the green envelope saying "to the Batman." The thing so it's growing on me. The cowl, it almost looks a little too big for his face, but it's growing on me. And I think that's the other thing that people need to remember. This is Batman Year 2. This is not even like Dark Knight Batman. This isn't, Batman Returns Batman. This is a Batman who's very green, who's very new to all of this. And I appreciate that because it's going to be something different. Also, all due respect to everyone who's played Batman prior, I do like having a younger Batman because it feels very similar to, us getting a very young Spider-Man and Tom Holland, where you feel like they'll be able to grow into the role. And with DC, to their credit, pretty much coming out today and saying, hey, we're doing the multiverse, basically a giant excuse for them to go, we can do whatever the fuck we want, and as long as it's good, you'll cheer. And honestly, yeah, I said before Fandome that if DC just came out and said, we are doing a multiverse, fuck it, just so we can kind of pick and choose where we want things to go, I said, you know what, I'll give them a break on that, as long as the quality of what they're putting out is good. And you know what, damn it, not only does this look good, this looks amazing. So, continuing through, I love the fact that Bruce Wayne here has like dark shadows under his eyes. It seems like he's not sleeping. Like this is really becoming an all night, every day sort of addiction. Matt Reeves talked about how they're CGIing some of the environments and everything, but that they're shooting in London. And I appreciate that because it's not going to have the look of Nolan's films, like in, some of Gotham being shot in like Chicago and I believe New York. It's giving it a very distinct, more gothic look. And I believe they said, if memory serves, that this is set in the 90s, which also takes us into a different time period. If you pause at the 108 mark, you'll notice that there's this is a funeral. There's a picture of someone, gentleman there. You see the roses, the flowers and everything. This car crashes through, and this guy who's dressed like a straight up suicide bomber. He's got a note attached to him that says "to the Batman," and I love this because it's giving me very much Jigsaw vibes. It's coming across very serial killer-ish. And while I love Jim Carrey, and I do love Jim Carrey, in Batman Forever, the Riddler, while he does have his menacing moments, was kind of played more as I don't want to say for comedy, but a little more lighthearted, especially with the costume he ends up in. I love that we're getting a more raw, a more gritty, a more real world, as it were, Riddler. I love the look on Pattinson's face as Bruce Wayne while he sees this man who's dressed, who's a bomber. Just that look he gives him, like, oh my god, what the hell's happening? They cut to Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, as Selena Kyle, and again, something I love. She is not Selena Kyle proper. She's got part of her mask cut, and I love the way that Selena Kyle looks. If you pause at the minute 18 mark, it took the second viewing of the trailer for me to recognize it. That's Colin Farrell, because he's also a Cobblepot, and I almost thought that they would have him be skinny and maybe, put on weight for like the second film. No, he's there already, and hell yeah, he looks great. It seems like they're taking elements of very like very early, I would say Batman Begins or Batman Returns, pardon me, but also mixed with that gangster sort of character that he is. It reminds me again a little bit of Batman Telltale, kind of the more gritty look. There is this shot at the minute 18 mark of the cowl, minute 19 mark of the rain coming down on Batman, and I just love that shot. I want that shot as a black and white. Here's where it gets very interesting. At the minute 21 mark, there's the shot of like a red light, and the cowl is off. So I'm wondering if maybe he either took it off, or maybe he's at a point where he's been beaten down. Looking at just moving forward here, there's a scene, and it feels like it's very much wink wink nodding to The Dark Knight, where Batman's in this interrogation room with all these cops, or maybe there's like this holding cell, and Gordon just goes ahead and slams him up against the wall. I'm wondering what's happening there. You see a shootout. You see Selena Kyle and Batman having this kind of hand-to-hand battle. You see this shot at the minute 30 mark where Batman is blown backwards by what looks like looks like an explosion. It's that same pardon me, it's that same funeral scene. And I just have to say, the sound of duct tape is terrifying to me. But that leads us to the money shot, I would say, of this whole trailer. So at the minute 35 mark, you see these thugs, and they go, "Who are you?" And this guy swings a pipe at Batman. Batman grabs his hand, punches him, breaks his arm, and beats the hell out of him to the point that everyone behind him is scared. Now, this is where I'm a little confused. I don't think this is set in the 90s, because if you notice at the minute 44 mark, a guy's holding his cell phone, it looks like, or a camera. Maybe it's a camera and it is set in the 90s, but I mean, yeah, I guess it could have been disposable back then. But I'm wondering when the time period is on this. I don't believe Matt Reeves. I actually watched the whole panel. I don't recall him giving official confirmation that this is set in the 90s. So I'm curious on that. But I love the way, and I give this trailer so much credit for this alone. You have the arbitrary person in the group go, "Who are you?" And logically you'd think for him to go, "I'm Batman." And no, Batman goes, "I am vengeance." And I was like, hell yeah, I love that. I know some people are going to be divided on this. I personally dig the new Batmobile. It looks like a muscle car. Again, if it's your first time fighting crime, or what, you're just getting to the superhero game, you wouldn't have your fully realized car. I love the way it looks in motion, especially with the smoke there. I dig this. There's a point where Batman rappels up using a grappling hook, and the way that shot is just beautiful. There's a scene where the Batmobile is chasing Cobblepot in a car, and I'm amped for this. Even the logo that you get at the very end, the way that even the graphic comes up on the title screen, I'm all about this. I think this could go down, and I know I'm harping a lot of praise on this, because I'll be the first to admit, I don't have a complaint about this trailer. And for only 25% of the film being done, the fact that we got this, I am all about it. They're going back to start filming on this again. I believe they said September, so probably a couple weeks. I'm excited as hell for this. I need more of this movie. This is coming out in 2021, but this could go down as DC's Joker of next year, because let's face it, people were very I don't know if this is gonna work, myself included. I thought it'd be good, but I didn't think it'd be $1 billion good. This movie, I'm gonna call it right now, I think this movie will cross $1 billion. You heard it here first. I am planting my flag for this movie. Damn it, Batman, I think this movie is gonna cross $1 billion. and I'm standing by that prediction. I think this will be a pleasant surprise for everyone, whether you're a DC fan or not. And I really hope Robert Pattison gets this and just knocks it out of the park, because for all the crap he got when he got cast, he kind of deserves to go ahead and make some people eat some humble pie. So I'm excited for this. Matt Reeves is, I think, a genius, and hell yeah, I am all about this movie. But guys, The Batman, first look. What did you guys think? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. You can go ahead and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at NearmanTheFirst. And you can follow us, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on Apple and Google Podcasts, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and Tuned Up. Pardon me, and Tuned Up Radio at The Real Pineapple. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have reviews up this upcoming week, perhaps for New Mutants. I don't know if my drive-in is playing it or not, but if it is, I will have a review up for that for you guys, and I will definitely have a review up for X-Men First Class, and I will have a full review of DC Fandome that will post either Sunday the 23rd, so that'd be tomorrow, or Monday the 24th. I'm just figuring out how to when I want to post that. And I will have my thoughts on the Avengers beta. I've been playing that for the last 3 weeks, so I'll break down what I like, what I don't. Guys, please stay safe out there, especially if you're on the West Coast. There's fires and stuff going on. Please take care of each other, wear a mask, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.